Good afternoon, everybody. It is Tripwire time. We got Staci in her studio. I'm on the road in an undisclosed location in the Midwest, but it is Tripwire time, Wednesday, April 2nd. It's going to be a great show. We've got so much to talk about, catch up. A lot of things going on with the commander in Naperville. Ton of stuff going on. Welcome to the show. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
It's been a couple weeks. It's been a couple weeks since we've been on.
It's been busy. We've been busy around these parts.
Yes. Well, and I, as always, you know, I'm either in class or I'm freaking in some crazy travel thing going on wherever. So it is what it is. It's fine. But
undisclosed
great to see you.
Location.
Well, I had to just, you know, I had to play it up. I mean, I'm in effing Ohio near Cleveland, so I had to make it spicier than what it was.
Yeah, no, I understand. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what have what have you been doing that's like really super interesting? With
all my class,
your class, and with what you've go ahead.
So what our viewers don't see is the behind the scenes stuff that we do, and the text messages and the emails and the chop busting by not only my co-host but my producer as well, because I always seem to be in class. And this started back when I was in Virginia on a contract, and I had to take some classes at the Army Sustainment Institution, and lo and behold, I was in class. Well, I've been in class since February 3rd now with a vocational program through the VA. I'm crane operator certified. I'm heavy equipment certified in eight different pieces of adult-sized Tonka toys. And today I started CDL, which is the actual commercial driver's license for the 18-wheelers, the big rigs. So it's been a whole thing.
That is a lot.
Last week, it sounded like I had laryngitis, which is why we replayed Josh's thing, because I sounded like Aunt Edna, who's been smoking for freaking 85 years, like with Lucky Strikes. And, you know, you guys were both like, oh, no, you can't bring that voice on this show.
No, you sent me a voice note on the phone. You sent me a voice note on the phone, and I was like, what is this? It was horrible.
Guy?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? Yeah. No, I get it.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, but things are going good. The weather's crazy, absolutely crazy. It's the Midwest though, but what do you expect? So
yeah.
Okay,
so let's see.
Where do you want to start?
I mean, I'm trying to look back at some of the stuff that we've had going on and what we've got happening. So we had the St. Patrick's Day parade, which was super cool here in Naperville. All right, so our fish fry,
because it was on a Monday, but you guys had the parade that weekend.
Yeah, we had the parade on a Saturday. So the fish fry, we've had 4 weeks of that so far, and so that goes through Lent. It started on March 7th, and it goes through April 18th. So we have 3 more weeks left, and it's so fun because it's open to the public, as you know, and it just so last year the St. Peter and Paul didn't have their fish fry, so we were like, okay, we're going to get a little more business, and because we're going to, you know, be accommodating people that might go there. But so we have food. We get our fish. It's cod from Draft Picks in Naperville, and we bring that over. And Scott, my husband, he cooks it. And we have pizza, we have shrimp, and he cooks that back there in the kitchen. And we've got help from Josh helps us out in the kitchen too, and Brittany, who's been on the show, helps us out, and some of our other friends. And we have just been getting so many compliments from how good the fish is and the quality of the fish and how fast the service is, and everybody's just doing a really, really good job. And you know, we were concerned that we would be losing a little bit of business, but we're not at all.
Sure.
So we're super happy about that. And I just love the camaraderie and the fellowship. You know, it's just veterans with people in the community that support veterans, and we've got music playing, the bar's open, the food is fantastic, and it's like 3 hours of awesome fun. And I think I've talked a little bit about how, you know, we set it up to where we've got, because you know how I am, I love having the community involved with everything that we do. I think it benefits everybody in a lot of ways. We have each week a different group or community organization come in, and they help serve the tables, and they have a sweet table.
Volunteers.
So, yeah, so then they sell their desserts to make money for whatever fun they you know, always have a fundraiser for something that they donate the money to, or if they're a nonprofit, and so they sell out of their suites. It's amazing. We've been so busy that we've
that's great.
Packing people downstairs in the canteen, delivering fish down there to them, and it's just a really good time. And I'm really grateful that the community is coming out and supporting the VFW while we do this, and meeting each other, and just having a really good time. It's the collaboration of like Heart of a Veteran, the Legion Riders are selling their merch. We've got Naperville Women's Club. We've got just the veteran support clubs in both of the high schools, and the auxiliaries out there. Just it's remarkable. Rotary's coming this Friday.
Wow.
The Rotary of Naperville. The Naperville Rotary is coming this Friday, and I'm part of the Rotary as well, so I know all of them, and it's going to be they're an awesome
the Rotary or the Frotery? The Rotary or the Frotery?
The Rotary. The Rotary. They're so much fun.
I think like we're in Middle Earth with the Frotery, like, you know, Bilbo Baggins and the one ring to rule them all. I'm messing around.
That's really good. Okay, and so then this past Saturday was Vietnam Veterans Day, and we had a beautiful service at Veterans Park, and we had a wreath laying there, and then we did another wreath laying at the Gold Star Memorial. So we had color guard, our combined color guard with the American Legion and VFW. We had our combined honor guard as well, the American Legion and VFW, and the Legion Riders were there. And I think you probably saw a lot of those photos. Jim Hoke is amazing how he documents everything we do. Love having him there. We always know that we've got like beautiful shots of.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, the history.
Were you guys using the parking lot across the street from the church? Because that is not a big parking lot over there at the Veterans Memorial. At the Veterans Park.
Using the parking lot?
It's a very small parking lot, right? But it's a very small parking lot at the Veterans Park at the memorial. So, I mean, was everybody parking across the street at the church, or? Oh, okay, all right. I didn't know if
everybody. We have the police are out there. The police are out there, and they're like directing traffic and everything. And So everybody parked over there.
I'm just asking, and then I'm not trying to derail it. Did you give another speech?
No, I was just in the color guard. I was holding the VFW flag. So the speeches are by the Vietnam veterans. You know, usually you know, I talk different times. Wayne Fisher talked, and Phil Mayhem and Jim Offendahl did, and Bob Grimber, I believe, and the mayor said some words.
Wow.
Really. Yep. He's always there too. Yep. So
that's great.
I mean, it's just really moving. And I made a post, I think you read it on Facebook, about, for me, with, you know, that I think there was 12,000 killed, 88,000 wounded over, you know, during the 65 to 1973. And that within itself is, you know, those numbers are staggering. And but for me, when I hear the stories from these vets, these Vietnam veterans, and how they weren't supported, and they weren't welcomed home, you know. I mean, and this is why our honor flights, and this is why our community involvement, this is why getting our youth involved is so important these days, is because I mean, definitely the veterans of today deserve all of that as well. But
Right.
we've always gotten a little bit more support. There's always been a little bit more patriotism on the home front for us, you know, our generation.
They're the forgotten generation.
They are. And when like I
are.
said, when they tell their stories, you know, and you see that pain in their eyes, and some of them don't even want to tell their stories. Like my father-in-law doesn't even want to talk about it, you know? It's because it's pain, it's sadness, it's loss. They don't have that support system in place. And they never were able to get, a lot of them were never able to really get truly involved with the VFW, like a lot of the guys I know. And they've missed out on how it's evolved throughout the years. So I really enjoy, you know, being in the canteen and listening to these guys. I call them my elders, and I say that with love because I have so much respect for them when they tell me their stories and they teach me things and they tell me like how they've done things and what their experiences are, and not just with war stories, right? But life stories. You know, I think that we miss so many, especially younger generations, they miss that opportunity to learn about life and lessons from some of these older folks because they forget they have so much to offer.
Well, okay, so, but you know, even like we've only got a couple World War II veterans that are left in America. You know, the greatest generation is about to be gone from our access, you know, from us being able to talk to them, to have conversations with them. Korea is about the same in numbers, I think, you know, a little bit better than World War II, but Korea is the same. There is still, I mean, I'm literally in a parking lot right now in my truck on this call with you, and I'm seeing Vietnam metal stickers on plates all over the place. That is, I'm just looking out the windshield of my vehicle.
Oh, really?
And we have time. We have plenty of time to talk with these people and to learn from them, from their generation. You know, share whatever stories they want to share. Open our arms and open our minds to what they have to share with us. There's a different. I believe that what they went through. There's a lot of them that don't have closure because they weren't accepted home. They weren't given the love that they deserved when they got home.
You know, there was something I'm trying to pull up real quick. There was something I was going to tell you. I got, you know, I'm the district chair for the women veterans programs. And we had this great article that was put out by VFW HQ about the female Vietnam veterans that
I included them in my post on Saturday.
Yeah, they just were not recognized when they came home at all. And, you know, I'm going to put a link actually I'll add a link in here. Ingrid Kennedy, you know who she is?
Yes,
she's my surgeon. Yeah. She's a nurse here, and she was Air Force. And she interviewed one of the female, I'm going to try to actually pull it up. I wonder if I can pull it up while we're talking. She interviewed one of them,
one of the female
on her
veterans
on her podcast. Yeah. And she, I probably can't pull it up. And she, I'm going to put the link into it because it's really powerful, actually. But the contributions that the women made in Vietnam, and it wasn't just the medical, it wasn't just the nurses. They had them in intelligence, logistics. There was a lot of different positions that these women held, and they're just not recognized at all. And there was even a few, 2 or 3, that were commanders of full units, even of mostly men at that time.
Right.
God, I wish I could find that email. Of course, I'm trying to look for it while we're talking on here, so it's like not productive.
Well,
But
I talked to my uncle. So my uncle Richard and I are the only two combat veterans left in the family. I had, when I say combat veterans, I have an uncle who's still alive that served during Vietnam, but he never went to Vietnam. He was on active duty elsewhere in the military. And he, his dementia, I don't know where his dementia is at the moment, but it's not like I could potentially have a conversation with him. My uncle Richard, though, my dad's brother Tom, and then married into the family, my uncle Kenny, they have both since passed. Tom was with First Air Cav, and my uncle Kenny was a naval medevac pilot off of a frigate or a carrier, picking up pilots out of the drink when they ejected based on being shot up so much over Vietnam. So he was a medevac pilot, pulling pilots out of the drink. So the three of them served in Vietnam. I think Richard did one or two tours. Tommy did one. Kenny did one. But at least I can still talk to Richard, and I love Richard. We're both very unique in our own cantankerness. I mean, we're very cantankered type of people, I mean, we have our idiosyncrasies based on time that we've spent in combat and how we view the world. But I can always have a laugh with him. And I got from JoJo about Mission Barbecue's thing on Vietnam Veterans Day. And I shared that with him a week prior. And then I sent him a thing on Friday saying, hey, make sure you go tomorrow, take a couple of your buddies, and you guys, you're going to have a great time because it's great food. They're a little bit further north than you are up in Cary. He is up in Cary. But I mean, he's a great man. I almost had a throwdown blow to blow with him about his benefits through the VA when I came back from my first tour in 0304, as far as him filing, because a lot of the vast majority of the Vietnam veterans, none of them gave two rats' asses about filing with the VA because of how they were treated when they came home. And I think it has prolonged his life. He's got a pacemaker now through the VA. I think he had a replacement shoulder. I mean, my point is it's helping him. It's improving as he gets into his winter years. I mean, he just turned 76. My dad's turning 80 in May, so I think he's 76. But as you get into your winter years, having the ability to, based on your service, to rely on, and we've had conversations about the VA, regardless of how messed up they are in certain districts, whatever, but to have that institution be there for him to improve his way of life, to prolong his life so that he can enjoy it more is I think it's phenomenal. Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal. So sorry, I got off on a tangent. You were busy looking things up.
I go off on tangents, but I did find what I wanted to say. So this is what I think is really cool. Okay, so from 1955 to 1975, 265,000 American women volunteered to serve worldwide. So nearly 11,000 women were directly deployed to Vietnam. I don't think a lot of people know that,
Nope.
And 90% of the women that were in Vietnam were in life-saving positions as nurses. So then that's when I was telling you there were some that were air traffic controllers, and President Lyndon Johnson openly promoted, he opened promotions for the women. And that's where I said a few of them were able to command units that were made up of hundreds of men.
Right.
And then there was one, the one nurse that became a 2-star admiral,
Navy?
Buckley. Yeah. Yes, Rear Admiral Francis Shea Buckley, pioneering figure in the Navy Nurse Corps, first Navy Nurse Corps officer to achieve a 2-star rank.
Yeah.
So that was during the Vietnam, and she was in the operating room in the USS Repose. So she retired in 1983. Yeah, lots of really cool things about women in Vietnam, and it's there's different people. Donna Allen with Allen Force does something with her force. They're starting honor flights for women. There's a lot of things going on out there for these ladies, but I mean, I hate to say this, but they need to hurry up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. You're absolutely right. Isn't that the way of it, though? Better late than never, but it's always usually a little bit too late when it comes to how institutions and communities react to an idea that should have been there from the get-go, as we respond to what veterans' needs are, or a demographic of veterans, because that is a unique demographic of veterans.
Yes. Well,
Vietnam
and
veterans.
so and the more and more, in the last year, I've started to meet a lot of really cool people. So being part of the women's kind of organization. I mean, I'm a woman, I'm in the VFW, but getting involved with leaders, let's just say.
I'm glad that you clarified that for our audience, that that you're
Eva. Well, there's another person that I want to bring on for an interview, Eva Marie Duffin. She is at the state level, and she was a commander, and I don't remember exactly what post she was at, but I have become friends with her over the past few months, and she is incredibly cool, and I want to bring her on. She's also friends with Brittany, who we've talked to, and
we had her on. We had Brittany on 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So
and so with Eva, I think that with Eva, and then with Donna with Allen Force, and with what they're doing with the female honor flights, and then they have these she force events. The word is escaping me. It's like a weekend retreat that they've got, and then they have these her stories. So they've got a lot of these things going on where the women are really coming together to talk about what we're doing now, but to keep these stories alive, from the past, which I think is super important, right? And especially with these veterans clubs. So the veteran clubs. Okay. So we've got these kids that are remarkable, and I talk about these kids at Naperville North and Naperville Central because we do so much with them, and I would love to see some of the other high schools. I know there's interest there because I've talked to kids there. It's just kind of a matter of getting it going. But it is really a nice mix of boys and girls. So it's not just a lot of the boys and then a couple girls. It's pretty half and half. And they're very, they're very involved. And what I love to see about it is it's not just patriotism. It's about, they really are, the veteran piece is there. The girls are really interested in what the women have done, in the military and what we are doing now. But these kids are really involved with the community and doing other stuff, which it's not, the veteran piece is important to us, obviously, but they're very productive members of society. And
at their young age,
one young lady named
important.
This one young lady named Taylor, she reached out to me from a Naperville Central, and she said, can we set up a table at the Fish Fry for a club that I am on the board of? And it's called Special Spaces, where they redecorate bedrooms for kids with cancer. And I said, absolutely.
I love
Come on.
Absolutely,
and I just love that. Like, you know what I mean? When you're like 13, 14, 15 years old and you are caring about people that are less fortunate than you, that speaks volumes to the kind of kids
13, 14, 15 years of age, and they're thinking about an 8-year-old that's
yes,
suffering from cancer.
these
Yeah,
kids, yeah,
that's
these kids
awesome.
are,
That's
and
amazing.
I know there's amazing kids in other towns. I know there is, but
Yeah.
I'm just very involved with these kids in Naperville and, our surrounding areas. We've got Plainfield, Oswego. They all come, kind of come around, and they get involved with our VFW because we're pretty robust, on the map. But they just are so cool.
I heard they got a very powerful commander. So
what?
I said I heard they got a very powerful and proactive commander. So I'm not surprised that these outside subdivisions or want to be a part of the VFW in Naperville, because it is robust, and there is the magnet. It's like, what is it? Magnetism. The magnetism of the VFW in Naperville is nonstop, absolutely nonstop, and that has to do with all the leadership that's going on over there.
Well, I mean, we are trying to do a lot of things, and I'm very fortunate that I've got such a good support system within the VFW, with all the leaders and the elders, and our town, like our the fire department, the police department, the mayor's office, the city council, the Naperville Response for Veterans. We have the JCs, everybody. Everybody just works so well together. I love it. Okay, so let's look at some of the other things that we've got going on. So we had the Vietnam veterans, and one of the cool things that we didn't do at our post, but the Lamont Post did. I was reading about their event. It was super cool. They had this like big map, and where everybody would go and like mark where they were or what unit they were with. So people were just coming from all around
at any point in time.
Yeah. So, well, it was Saturday. It was the 29th that they did this, but they were coming all around, and just going out to the post, and they were having this kind of party where everybody was just annotating on a map where they were. And what was cool is you had people that like didn't know each other or hadn't seen each other, or, it was almost like a reunion, wait a minute, you were there? That's where I was, Yeah. It just seems really cool. And then, Bill Foster, our congressman here, he did a pinning for Vietnam veterans. I believe he did that Sunday. I don't know the exact location, but that was really cool that he did that. Did we talk about our ruck march?
No, I was going to ask you about that, but then so I'm going to call you out because I care about you as a friend, and I want to see how Mama's doing with her son in his adventures.
Corbin, I actually did talk to him today. He does get phone calls periodically. I think like the 2, 4, 6.
You got to let everybody know what he's doing.
Well, he's in boot camp, and he graduates on May 8th. His job may be changing, so I will stay tuned for that. But there's nothing negative about it. Everything is on course. I am super happy about this. If anybody knows me or my son Corbin, he has been working really, really hard to go into the Navy. He's been working on retaking his ASVABs, getting medical waivers, and getting himself in a position where I would say market ready, and the quality that the Navy expects. And I'm really excited to see where he goes from here. But I did talk to him today, and it's funny because he did go in, and he was 1 week out from graduation, and there was medical issues, and so he had to fight to get back in, and that's been years. And I remember talking to him on the phone when he was 20, and it was, we're different people when we're 20. versus 26.
Sure.
And I love the young man that he's now become. He's just really steadfast in his journey and his goals and what he wants to do and accomplish, and how he believes in himself more now and knows what he wants to do. And I think that, you know, God has a plan for us all, and it happens when, not necessarily when we want it to, and things happen where we're, hold on a second, you know, I think we've laughed about this because I've been told, wait a minute, slow your roll. You're not doing that yet, ma'am. You're not doing that yet, ma'am. But I want to do it now, not right now.
Right.
And so,
not right now. Not right now.
You have to wait. So, but yeah, things are going really good with that.
Well, I had to give you a proud mama I had to give you a proud mama moment.
Thank you.
Because we haven't talked about it on the show as of yet.
Yeah, we haven't.
And I wanted to make sure that our audience knew that your son finally, after all this time, was able to actually ship off to boot camp, and now he gets to graduate soon. That's awesome. It's okay.
I'm proud. I'm so proud of him.
Yes, as you should be, as you absolutely should be. But I wanted our audience to understand not just our investments as individuals, because, you know, I'm a crusty old veteran. You're a much more refined veteran, but also that we have members in our family that are doing it now, even in this new generation. Yeah, and that's important. It's important. So I wanted to make sure that
they both work. You know, he worked up at the VFW before he left, and then when he left, my younger son Drew, who's 19, now works at the VFW. You know, we have a hall that we rent out, and we have tons of events, pretty much every day. And we will host events with hundreds of people, and there's different setups and tables and chairs and AV setups, and so my son does that. He also has another job, so that's right there. You know, everybody. And then you've got my husband in the back cooking fish.
I know.
Over 300 people in a 3-hour period every Friday.
My
family is working their butt off.
Well, yeah, and you know, yes, it's a family affair, and it's fantastic. I think it's awesome. It really is. And let's get to this ruck march, because oh my effing God, there was so many people, and it was so awesome. Arvin let me use his photo with his kid on, carrying the American flag. I don't know where he was in the line, but he let me use it for the pledge.
In the front.
There you go.
As the guide on.
Leading there's another Navy guy leading from the front. Shocker.
So this was Linda. Okay, so Linda Whaley, which she's an amazing woman. Okay, so she was in the Air Force. She was an Air Force medic. I hope I don't get that wrong. And she's actually a member of the Sandwich American Legion, but she is transferring over to us. And she has been on the color guard with me for the past couple of years. And we have become great friends, and I love her dearly. And I nominated her for a Quilt of Honor, which she received through the Naperville Rotary, and deserves it. She is one of those people that just really emulates that still serving mentality, still shows up every day. You know, she's always that one person that's going to be your battle buddy no matter what. And she had this idea, and she came to Nadia and Jennifer Sloan and myself and said, I really want to do this 22 a day, or not 22 a day, but 22 suicide awareness ruck march that combines the American Legion's idea of be the one, but we wanted to make it our own, because we wanted to combine it with the VFW and the American Legion. We wanted to combine our strengths. So we wanted it to be the one to help carry the load. So we combined it to make it something of our own. And we, I always, in my mind, because you know me, I like to do things big. So I'm always prepared for hundreds, and I've always got music's going to be on, the bar's going to be open. Everybody knows if, I'm going to carry a speaker and a microphone. I am ready to make this a big event. Right. And she, just was a little unsure because she's never really been in charge of an event. So she didn't really know if it was going to be successful, but we knew it was going to be successful. She has a great idea. She has a beautiful heart, and all of those things together really just we had 30 people come from, I think it was the Wheaton Post. We had, groups of people come from the Red, White, and Blue team, which I have talked about for veterans to get involved in with fitness activities, which I love. And we had so many groups of people, families pulling their kids in wagons, people with their ruck packs on. I had my bulletproof plates that were 30 pounds that Corbin got me. I was wearing that, my flak jacket, and so my flak vest. So, everybody was just, we had Matt Schiffer was doing cadence, and Arvin, what did you say? Arvin was up in the front.
It's called a plate carrier, sweet. Flak jackets are from Vietnam. It's called a plate carrier.
I was in the Navy. Give me a break. I was a corpsman in the Navy. So
I got you. I'm helping.
Thanks. I appreciate the assist. So and then it was great. It was very successful. And the goal was to raise money for Support Over Stigma, which is a wonderful nonprofit. And Zoe Kreiner is somebody that I've worked with the Resilience Tactics Workshop. Tiffany Wells is one of my dear friends that is on our auxiliary, and she's also on the board of Support Over Stigma, and she is hugely involved. Everybody in her family is a veteran. Literally, I don't know if there's anybody in her family that isn't a veteran. She's auxiliary, and her efforts for the veteran community are just nonstop, and she's just amazing. And so
he's phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal.
We raised money for Support Over Stigma, and I think that we ended up going before. We had very little expenses because we had a lot of people that donated. Linda took care of some out-of-pocket costs. She paid for some things on her own, but I think we ended up getting over $2,600, give or take, and then had a little bit of expenses with t-shirts. So I think that is great, and we were super happy with being able to raise that money, and we're going to do it again next year, March 22nd. So again, next year, it's going to be a Sunday. I know that, I was thinking about if we want to keep it on that date, it's going to end up being a Monday and a Tuesday. I don't know how we're going to do that. So we may end up having to figure that out, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I would say over 100, about 120.
You can always just change it to the third Sunday of every March.
Yeah, we could do that. Something like that. So we had about 120 ruckers. 120 people.
The pictures, the pictures look like there was a hell of a lot more than 120 people. But yes, that's amazing. First opening day of this, first time out the gate. Yep. That's awesome. That's awesome. Really is. Very happy for the community.
Some of the other things. Oh, sorry. You froze and then started.
I'm just saying I'm very happy. I'm just very happy how it turned out. It was awesome.
So we've got some other stuff going on too. We've got the American Legion is holding a spaghetti dinner for the Naperville North High School Veterans Club, and I'm going to look up the exact date. It's May, I believe it's May 9th. Yes, it's May 9th, and they are raising money for their veterans club, the spaghetti dinner, and that's posted all over social media. And then we're having a pig roast. You might want to come back into town on May 16th.
I think I saw that on Nadia's page.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be in the canteen. So it'll be downstairs. Pig roast, May 16th, the spaghetti dinner upstairs in the kitchen, May 9th. The Legion Riders, the American Legion Riders, are doing a chili dinner to raise money for the Special Olympics on
I saw that one too. Yeah.
25th. Yeah, I believe that's April 25th.
Where's that going to be at? Is that going to be at the cantina?
That's going to be upstairs in the hall.
Upstairs? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So April 25th, we've got the American Legion Riders chili dinner raising money for Special Olympics. I'm going to post, as we talk, I'll post all these links and stuff in here so people can see. I'll put like the flyers up and stuff so people will see. Then, so in May, we've also got, which is really cool. So as you know, the NPC Phoenix Natural Noble Warrior. And what I love about this show, in addition to me being the promoter and the owner of it as Phoenix Productions, it is because of the collaboration that we've got going on with our military first responders, our recruiters, Army fitness demo teams, American Legion riders are going to be there. We've got the American Legion, we've got the VFW, we've got the veteran support clubs from the high schools. We've got our military first responder tribute, the color guard on stage. We invite everybody up onto the stage. So it's a big collaborative effort that, for me, my goal with this bodybuilding competition is community involvement and patriotism. Right. And so I submitted it to national headquarters, VFW headquarters, as as our posts, one of our posts, day of service events, just because it's something that I'm very passionate about. Like, sure. A lot of people will rebuild like a park and do things like that, and which I love that, doing that too. One of the things I like doing is just really getting the community connected, so they're all on the same page with the importance of the veteran community support and patriotism of our country, and how we can all keep that strong. And so I submitted my proposal, and our post got chosen as one of the top 25 in the nation out of 5,500 posts. So I'm so excited because we're going to get a lot of extra media attention and support because of what we're doing. And I'm just really, really happy because the people that are involved, there's so many people involved in this that are involved in this before we were going to have extra media coverage and attention, and they deserve it. They deserve to have that attention. And I'm excited that we can provide that on that level. And I love seeing the veterans come up out of the audience and come up on stage, when the national anthem is being sung and our combined color guard is there, and then everybody is just clapping. I love seeing that, and I'm just really excited that that's going to happen. So then May,
I'm actually, when I'm done with class, like there's an end to this. There's a light at the end of the tunnel of my class time. I'll be leaving this school mid to late April. If I am in Chicago for your weekend, because I can't make it to Florida for the EOD Memorial Weekend, I would like to be there with you.
Oh, that would be great. We'd love it. We'd love it.
Yes, awesome. I think that would. Yes. I'd look forward to that.
And because Master Blaster, Master Blaster is a sponsor, so you're part of the event. So I'm looking at your logo. I'm looking at your logo on my big poster right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking over in that direction. And
So our donation is being prepared now, and it will be in the mail soon for you.
Excellent. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I've been taking care of that on my end, so that way.
Go ahead. I keep interrupting.
Yeah. Go ahead. May 30th.
May 30th is our officer.
We're having a little bit of lagging here. It's okay.
Officer, I call it an officer induction, and I don't know why, because it's an installation of officers, but we're also inducted. I think the word is the same. May 30th, and we've got Joe Contafio. That is our entertainment, and we have it's gonna be great. I'm really excited about it. It was it was a beautiful event, and it's open to the public. I actually really, go out and invite. It's on our ticket source link with the rest of our events that we do, where you need to RSVP. And there is not a fee for this, but obviously donations are always graciously accepted, but definitely not required. We cater in a really beautiful menu. From Draft Picks, and they have a catering menu, and so it's great food, and we've got just a beautiful setup. And I set up this huge flag in the back with a red carpet, so we have a place to have photos taken.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so
That's
it's
great.
the installation of the officers from the VFW and our auxiliary. And that's May 30th. So if anybody's watching and you're interested in that, I will put a link in the comments, and then you can
Excellent.
check that out.
I'm obviously coming after I'm done here. I'm coming back to Chicago so that I can spend some time with Dad. I've been out here since February 3rd. I just want to, before I go on to my next adventure, wherever that may be with whoever I'm working for, I want to make sure that I'm only 6 hours away. There's absolutely no excuse why I shouldn't get my ass back there to spend time with my dad and see my sisters, and which also by proxy means I'm going to be in your cantina, and we should talk. Maybe we could talk our producer into, like, you and I sit in your studio and do a show together.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool, right?
Yeah, we'll figure that out if you're up for it.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to invade your personal space in your studio there, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah. You can fit right there.
That would be, yeah. Well, even maybe a little off camera, because I know who runs the show here. It's all good. So
that's funny.
Yeah, but so yeah, looking forward to that. A lot of stuff going on. EOD community is doing great. Very good friend of mine who is he's a very high end. He's not the Army Command Sergeant Major, but he's the 20th Seaburn Command Sergeant Major, who's in charge of that above that hierarchy of an entity, is in charge of EOD across the board in the United States Army. He is going to be the guest speaker at the memorial this year, which I think is fantastic. Dave Silva, I've known him since I was a private first class. Great guy, just phenomenal. I'd love to try and get him on here sometime. But we may have to wait till he's retired, because he's so damn busy, because he's still wearing the uniform and he's flying everywhere. Mm-hmm. Kids are good. Family's good. There are blessings in each day. I've been able to catch up with a lot of veterans over the last couple of weeks. I started trying to be more proactive. I have more time on the weekends, so I've been trying to reach out to people that I haven't talked to in 6 months, 12 months, whatever, and be more proactive in reaching out to them, and then holding myself responsible or accountable, and putting them on like a schedule where I don't let it go X number of days without reaching out to them. Well, even if it's just 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, once a month, check in with these people. I'm trying to be more proactive about it, rather than some of the groups I belong to, and then I get a random phone call at 2:30 in the morning, and I'm talking somebody off of a ledge, or making sure they don't, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to be more proactive about that. And I'm trying to let people know that it's within their power to do the same thing. It's in their power to, even if they know them, or they're just an acquaintance or whatever, call and check on people, be proactive. Don't let it get to the point where it's like they're massively hurting, and the goal is to get them clinical help. If you can call them prior to that, you may actually help them not get to that point. Does that make sense? So that's what I've been working on.
I was like, the other day, I was heading to a meeting. It was the third Monday, and I was heading to a meeting at Rosie's for the Veteran Business Connection.
Yep.
And I had to call Jennifer Sloan on the phone, and I just was pulled in like 18 different directions, and I was so frazzled. And she's one of those people that, like, much like you, that I can actually be myself with.
Yeah.
And I kind of like snapped, and I just said, I can't make it. I can't make it. And
Right.
I can't do it. And then, like, all day I was just trying to get my thoughts straight.
Bearings.
And I just
trying to get your bearings.
Yeah. And so then she texted me later in the day, and she's like, hey, can you call me real quick? And I was like, you know, I thought she needed something or whatever. And I was like, yeah, what's going on? What do you need? What do you need help with? And then she like literally was just calling to check on me.
Yeah.
And make sure I was okay, and tell me that she appreciated me. And I like started to cry, and I was like, I felt better instantly. And it was a really small gesture, but like, it just really meant so much. Like, it was just a small gesture. Like, I wasn't expecting it,
Right.
And from someone that I respect and value. And I was like, yeah. And I mean, I was nowhere near at the level some of these people are that you're talking about,
Right. No, you're just having
like,
a bad day.
I wasn't at that place, but
Right.
it's very powerful what a small gesture like that can do. People don't
Absolutely.
realize it.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. So any last thoughts?
Well,
as we wrap up this
I'll be
social
going to
hour that we've had?
Springfield. I'll be going to Springfield in June, the first weekend of June.
Okay.
So we got our post got all American, which is great. We checked all of our boxes off. We've been busting our butts with community service, and 102% of our membership, which is, as you know, over 600. The involvement, the things we do in the community, our honor guard is phenomenal. Just the fact our people at the VFW in Naperville, like, show up, I mean, as a commander, I get a lot of credit for that, but man, it's so much bigger. These people are just doing things that are just, selfless upon belief. It's just crazy.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's great. That's great. Well, I think we'll leave it on a very high note, and we'll just leave it right there. And as always, I appreciate our, I feel like this is you remember, let's go back to the Greatest Generation. You remember FDR did the fireside chats over the radio back then in that time frame? And, he utilized what he had to reach the masses. And I feel like this episode has been our little version of that. Sharing positive things, sharing great stories, and, paying attention to wonderful people that are doing fantastic things out there in their communities, not just for veterans, but for people in general. And that's really ultimately what it's all about. So I'm going to kick us off and say, as we close this down, thank you everybody for showing up for Tripwire tonight. Remember that the path to freedom is paved with courage.
And honor is the wire that we never trip.